On Talanta Peak, Tebra Mountain. So we're going here. Over there. Yeah, I gave up on Bethesda games. I don't think I'll ever play another one. Fallout 4 was the actually it wasn't Fallout 4. I had no Fallout 4 was fine. It was the incessant need to keep making an MMO over and over and over again that I don't want to play. And then the other thing that turned me off from Bethesda was that they refuse to make new games. They just keep making the same stupid game over and over and over again. And releasing it for full price or more. And people keep buying it, so I can't fault them for it, but I hate it. So, even though I know people really like it, they have been releasing the MMO or the re-release of Skyrim every year for, what is it, 12 years now? So, I'm just kind of done with Bethesda as a company. I mean, I like Skyrim. I played the crap out of it. I have the dragon. Like, I bought the thing, but it's like GTA 5 for me. It's exactly the same to me. The like refusal to make new games and just keep making the same one, barely changing anything about it, and then also releasing buggy messes over and over and over again, and then calling the bugs a feature. And then refusing to fix those bugs. So like with Skyrim, the original release that I had the original release on 360, and I had the all the DLC. I bought all of it. There was a bug that made it impossible to finish the Dragonborn DLC. You couldn't... Do I need this from like a certain angle? I just need a picture of the tree. Maybe from like right here. And then they never fixed it. Still to this day, it is not fixed. So. Action on quest map are... There's a picture of a giant bird. Wait, what are you talking about? He wanted a tree, didn't he? Mark the owner wants to hang up a picture of the giant bird with wings stretched wide in the Hebron Mountains. It said, bird can be seen. Yeah, I don't. I think it's lazy game design. It said this bird can be seen when looking northwest from the lone cedar tree. Maybe there's a way to take a picture. But I have to wait for it to be snowing? Are you fucking kidding me? Northeast. Skyview Tower. At the top, go to the edge of the peak and look to the left to see a giant bird. Could be like right here. Giving them a lot of credit. Sure. Oh, I see. The area itself is a bird with outstretched wing. You're giving a lot of credit to people that don't deserve it, in my estimation. I don't think they're incompetent. I think they get the thing to work, and then they don't care to fix it. Yeah. I would. So here's the thing: all of the excuses you're giving them are the same excuses I would have given them 5 years ago. I want to fill this frame with a painting. I already did that. Does this picture work? Could it be? So it's all the same stuff that I say about Square, because I love Square. So I will say things like the Pixel remaster is really worth your money when it probably isn't. Quite a sight, isn't it? I know. So, yeah. I'm more irritated with Bethesda than anything else. I actually am more irritated. I get irritated when people give game studios credit where they don't deserve it. Like, letting them off the hook for having buggy games that don't work right, and then not fixing any of it is like my number one pet peeve. So, it is what it is. There are definitely problems with this game. I love this game. I think it's going to win Game of the Year, and I think it deserves it. But there are definitely problems with it. What are we getting? Yes, I'll be right with you. First of all, they don't voice act anything. Nothing is voice acted. They just make sounds. For 26 points, extravagant saddle. Fuck yeah. And a bridle. Yeah. One additional horse for 4 more pony points. I did Gerudo's fossil. Captured tent. I don't think I've done yet. But I will say this game is made kind of like those games. It's giant. It's open world. It's mostly side quests and side adventures, and like fast travel points and stuff. So it's one of those like, okay, where do I go? Captured tent. Unlock the capture. Talking to man, cooking a pot outside the snowfield. Save after you finish. Oh, I've already done that. So there you should be right around here. He doesn't care. I promise you. Todd Howard, Phil Spencer, the Yoshi P, and the Square Enix group, the Sony East, Sony West. They don't care. They don't care about anything you have to say. They never have. Because guess what? They're cashing your checks. Oh, it's you. Here you are again. Oh, Nat, this must be fate. Stop it. We've got a real problem on our hands, given what's happened to our tent. It's not the time to talk about that. You're right. Still, just when we found a cave that surely had a trove of mushrooms and more. Alright. So we found a cave at the bottom of a mountain, along this road for a bit. We pitched our tent there, and then hurried back here to the stable. Right, and by the time we got back to our tent, we found monsters inside. That's our tent, though. Okay. And that's why, despite our bumping into each other again, this is totally not the time to talk about that. We have to chase off those monsters somehow. Sounds like I'm gonna be chasing off those monsters. There's a cave over here. Just right up here. Yeah. I honestly don't believe any... Like, I believe the... Like, even... So, I'm a huge fan of Naughty Dog. I think they make great games. But I really don't think Neil Druckmann gives a shit what anybody has to say about him or the games he makes. Are you buying them? That's all he cares about. And he's not even... He's like the lead... I don't think he's like the CEO, but he's like the director. He's like the lead director on that at that company. And even he, who like talks a big game about how much he does care about people's opinions and wants people to love his games and really wants to make great art, I still don't think he gives a shit as long as the checks cash at the end of the day. I think the lower level people, the people that are, you know, taking advantage of it, all these companies, the developers and the coders and people like that, those people certainly care. And they probably work a lot harder than they get credit for. But CEO of a multi-billion-dollar video game company, you don't give a shit. Shit, I'm used to Final Fantasy VIII 16's combat. Very good, thank you. Ow. He was mostly upset that people were being transphobic and homophobic. From what I gathered from his, what he had to say about problems with the game, was he was mostly upset that people couldn't stop being transphobic and homophobic. Yeah, for doing their jobs, and getting death threats. Yeah, exactly. He was less worried. He was mad that Laura Bailey was treated like crap because fans couldn't handle the fact that there was a trans kid and two gay women, or a bisexual woman and a gay woman in their show, in their game. And they also couldn't handle nuanced storytelling, where the guy that they played it as in the first one. And look, when I first played it, I was pissed. Until I got all the way through it. And then I realized what was happening. And it changed the way I felt about the game. Damn it. Because by the end of it, I realized, oh, this is what they were trying to do. I get it. And it was very, very well done. But Neil also gets pissed, you know, Neil should be pissed about people talking shit about Uncharted 4's DLC. I just don't think it's... I think, at the end of the day, none of the executives at any of these companies give a shit one way or the other if you play their game or not. They only really care as long as they're making money. And again, I think that people on the creative side do care more. Did I do the thing? I did. But I think that's how it always is, right? That's why, that's why the WGA and SAG-AFTRA are on strike right now. And if IATSE could be on strike, they would also be on strike. And if the VO community, I think they're the Voice Actors Guild, if they could, then they would. But I think really what we need in the business is we need a union for video game designers, and we need a union for graphics effects artists, because they get fucking shit on. I'm sorry, we finally bumped into each other again here, but really, it's no time to talk about that. We have to chase the monsters away from our tent. I did that. What? You defeated them. There aren't any monsters anymore. Oh, amazing. So amazing and strong. I am amazing and strong. True. What a relief. Most of what we packed from our journey is in that tent. Now we can continue to search for that. We owe you, so here you go. Thank you. How sweet. We're going to bring you into our secret quest to find that, as we promised. We're on the hunt for a fabled place, a haven of mushrooms. We discovered a note and a field guide to mushrooms that hinted of something spectacular. It said vapors drift from Sternidia Basin near a pond in Hebra. At the source of the steam lies a bright mushroom haven. At the time, we didn't think much of it, just a strange little note someone left in the margins. Then... yeah, I don't know what spite accusations mean, but I have a feeling that it was probably less than that. Let's see. What happened to, you said Chris Avalon. What did he do? Let's find out. His keys was to... So all this statement means is that, have been misinterpreted. Hell yeah, Cass. Yeah. Ooh, I like that. The gift one. I like that a lot. Those are cute. Yeah, I don't know. Then you have people happening caves up and up, and we thought maybe, just maybe, we could find a haven of our own. Who knows? Maybe it was a joke some prankster scribbled in there. But if there is a mushroom haven, we have to find it. This is between us, you understand? Me, my sister, and now you. If that message we saw on that field guide was accurate, the Naruto one with ramen is great. If the message we saw in the field guide was accurate, then the haven must be here in Hebra. We just have to find the pond and follow the drifting steam to its source. So we'd better get going. Thanks, buddy, for getting our tent back. I guess I'm just kind of at a point with video game, with designers and men in power that that if somebody is accused, I generally believe that they did something wrong. And then even if a settlement is awarded and then they have to say that they, like, for all we know, the settlement went to the women, and then what they had to do in the settlement, as part of the settlement, was say he never did any of the things we said he did. When, for all we know, he did. So, I don't know. It's kind of like the thing with there's a bunch of stuff like that. There's a lot of things where something happened, and then the way that they hide it is by making somebody sign an NDA, or as part of getting the settlement that they wanted, they have to basically say that, like, what I said happened didn't happen, so that he can continue to live his life and work. Also, I never played Dying Light 1, so I don't know if Dying Light 2 is bad. And then Redfall just looked like a bad AAA game. You know? Like most AAA games from Microsoft-owned studios. Like, if I'm honest. I don't think any... I firmly believe that no hardware developer should own a software developer. I feel like it's a conflict, and I think that the product gets worse for the most part, because there's always cost-cutting measures, and there's always bullshit that gets in the way of the creatives doing the creative thing. You should leave creatives alone to do creative things, and And then if the software studio wants to sell the exclusive rights to that one thing for a price to a hardware developer, I don't see any problem with that. I see more of a problem with a hardware company buying a software company and then basically making it shitty. Which is what I have seen time and time again with both Microsoft and Sony-owned developers. I would much rather have less talented people who don't do sexual misconduct than have sexual misconduct talented people. If that's what you mean. So, if that's what you mean, then we are in total agreement. If you mean that they should let people who do sexual misconduct continue to work because they make good games, then we are not in agreement. We need to get those, well, sure, but what I'm saying is, like, even people who have, like, just because somebody gets away with it doesn't mean that they didn't do it, I think is something that should be said. I guess is something, is kind of how I feel about the whole thing. Oh, did I get all of the rupees I was going to get? Like that jackass that made Rick and Morty. Like, people are like, he didn't do those things, and then it turns out he did those things. But yeah, it's, I would rather have people that don't have that don't have any. Like, if you have the accusation, I'm kind of on the side of fire that motherfucker. We'll deal with the side effects of it later. What? I thought I'd never see anyone in here. I'm Selmy. Heard of me? I used to shield surf at the pro level. Earned myself the nickname the Duchess of Downhill. I'm a teacher these days, showing the next generation how to shred the slopes like an absolute pro. The terrible blizzard stopped, so I took advantage of the weather to go out and create a new course for my students. Then I found this cave. Just surfed right into it on my shield. Can't blame an old shield surfer for exploring, right? I went in too far, though, where the cave got all closed off. I couldn't climb back out the way I came in. Worse yet, I heard rocks falling back up at the entrance. Thought it collapsed at some point. Starting to think I'd be stuck back here forever, and no one would ever be able to find the cave. But if you're here, that means you can't get back out the same way either, right? Finn and Russ, my students, must be panicking after I didn't come back. With any luck, we can find a different path that goes outside. Other than that, though, we've got no hope of escape. I don't know what you're talking about. I just walked in here. Okay, so what I'm saying is that, sure, there's that one instance where that's true. But I'd say that 99.9999 repeating times that something like that comes up, it's true. And that person, I don't care about their fucking reputation, needs to be held to account. And also, if you're proven to have done something like lie about somebody in a very public way, and they sue you, they should win that lawsuit. Sounds like exactly what happened with him. So, I'm sure he'll land on his feet. But you said with a proven criminal record, and I don't really care about the... I care more about the holding people to account in any way. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really know what happened with that guy. I pay no attention to Rick and Morty. I think it's a dumbass show. I know a lot of people like it, and I'm sorry if I've offended you by saying it's stupid. But I don't get it, and that's on me, most likely. Like, the fact that I don't get it is more a me thing than anybody else. But I just saw a bunch of people saying, like, he didn't do those things, and I was like, I think it's pretty clear he did do those things. I found a way out. Do I need to tell her that I found a way out? Okay, I did. Now do I have to go all the way back to her to tell her I found this hole? Yeah, I mean, it looked like... I watched, I think, a little bit of Black Tie Bacon play it. It looked fine. It looked really dumb. It didn't look like a game that had any sort of substance to it, but not all games need that. Some games are just for fun and pointless, and that's great. But maybe I only had to break open this hole and then tell her. I probably just had to break open the hole. Found a way for you to get out. Oh, the stone's blocking the way. They've crumbled. I feel wind coming from outside somewhere. I'll live another day, free to surf the slopes under the bright sky. I've got nothing to give you now as thanks, but I've got an idea. Whenever you like, stop by my lodge in northwest of Hebra Park, or Hebra Peak. We'll talk more then. You can always spot it from the bonfire out front, so watch for that if you decide to come find me. Alright, I better head back so my students can stop worrying. Remember, find me at the lodge on the peak. Yeah, I mean, it looks like a game that was made by a bunch of stoned people. Totally. Which, again, is not necessarily a bad thing. But what I mean by substance is, I mean, there's no, like, the story looked like drivel. Like, it looked fun. Not fun enough for me to play. Because I guess I'm not really into third person or first person shooters anymore in any way. My game taste has changed a lot over my lifetime. I was like a hardcore COD guy for a bunch of years. Got really fucking tired of those games. And then it kind of soured me on the whole genre. I just, like, don't really care about game where you have a gun. But, like I said, that's a matter of taste more than anything else. So I just never end up playing those games. I play mostly RPGs and third-person action games. Like, I'll play the new Gears when it comes out, and I'll like it, because I am one of the people who liked Gears 4 and Gears 5. Oh, I've always hated racing games. They always felt pointless to me. I liked Gran Turismo for a bit, and I really liked Need for Speed for a little while, but then I just got real sick of them real quick. But yeah, I think that's just what happens as you get older, or whatever, your taste in stuff changes. And I think a lot of my issue with games became just the same shit over and over and over and over and over again. Like, Call of Duty was the same game forever. Like, it was just... It's still that shit. It's still so dumb. And, like, again, that's fine. Doesn't... Not all games have to be some, like, incredible... Racist becomes a race. Oh, I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I just didn't care about racing games at all. I was confused for a second. Been waiting for you. Thanks for coming all the way out here. You saved to teach. Oh man, do we ever owe you one? I'm so stoked that Coach came back to us safe. Major respect from me, man. Who knows what would have happened to me if you hadn't come along. I've got to admit, getting some shield surfing in all through the cave was pretty darn great. But I'll be staying away from there for a while, that's for sure. There's gotta be at least one. There it is. That's true. It really is. God, I love BioShock Infinite. But, like, there were parts of it where it's like, fuck, man, why are you doing that? Hey, Bert. Okay. So you're gonna walk for 24 minutes? Okay, see you in a little bit. Staying away from there for a while, that's for sure. I've seen a more xenophobia than racism as mechanics in video games. Since I'm the one that really owes you for that, for what you did, I'll be the one to reward you. Here, take this. Well, I've got a shield for you that's kind of unusual, but your shield pouch is full. Make some space for it, okay? Let's see. I don't need this one. So you made some space. Good. Now, please take this as thanks. Ow. I found that shield around some stones that, get this, fell from the sky. What a beautiful thought. That there could be shield surfers like us, way up there. Oh. I'll say it again. Thank you for getting me out of that cave. Also, now that the blizzard's over, come back here anytime you feel like shield surfing with us. I wasn't going to take on a third student now. Not with these two keeping me busy, but for you, I'll make an exception. Welcome, buddy. We owe you big time anyway for rescue and teach. Yeah, see you on the slopes. Best way to learn. LX2 in-game learning explains. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot. Nearby below, I bet it's in this cave. They retcon that in 2, yeah. I sometimes wonder if, like, devs know that they're doing that. Or if they, like, that's kind of my biggest problem with Final Fantasy 16. Like, I'm a huge fan of that game. I think it's a great game. However, there's only white people in it. And I don't understand that anymore. Like, in this day and time that we are in, like, I don't care that it's, like, based on medieval Europe. It's based on medieval Europe. That's not an excuse to not have any people of color in your game, like, at all. That's a asinine thing to say, and the fact that they thought they were going to get away with that, I thought was really weird. Ow! Jesus. Oh, nice. Thank you. He just kind of decided he was gonna... Oh, it's cold water. Right, but Final Fantasy 16 is... And I don't know that that's true, right? Like, Tolkien tried to do the... like, different races in his stories by having different races in his stories, like dwarves and stuff. He forgot to, and I don't know if he forgot or if it was just the time, right? He didn't put any people of color in his stories. Now, did he do that on purpose, or was that an accident? I don't know. But that excuse doesn't work for me in 2023. I'll give you back credit for what 1927 was when Lord of the Rings was released. I mean, The Hobbit was like in the 30s. So somewhere around that time. Like, I'll give you that. Sure. I mean, I'm willing to give you like a pass on that. But to say that, like, in 2023, even The Witcher was made like around the time of Witcher 3 wasn't that a 360 game? Or early Xbox One? Like, it must have been PS4 or Xbox One. I just think that that's kind of not a good excuse. And that's just me. If that's not how you feel about it, that's fine. I think that that's a pretty lousy excuse. But I think you can criticize things you like, even, you know, when something you like fails, it's fine to say that they failed. You know? Okay, how do I get this? There's no... Is there wooden parts over here? And I guess The Witcher also is based on books, but I don't know when those books were written. Okay, so it's in like the middle of this water. I still haven't played it at all. Not for any, like, I don't want to play it reason, just, like, haven't gotten to it. Can I... Ow. Shit. I need more rocks! That's true. But like I said, you can criticize somebody, a group of people who made a thing for not including like a diverse cast in the year of our Lord 2023. And that's okay. You know, you can say that there was a misstep and they didn't oh, there we go. Perfect. And they didn't, people are allowed to have, they are. That's different though. So what I'm saying is different than what you're saying. They are allowed to have evil themes, but that 1993 was when the first... Okay. So, you know, not horrible. Yes. See, I agree with you on that point. That's not the point I'm making, though. We're making different points. What just happened? Oh. I have not done a shrine quest in a really long time because I've been so worried about other stuff. I think I'm going to continue to not have done a shrine quest for a while. Okay, where's the bubble at? Party truffle. So, is the show based on the books, or is it based on the game? Okay. We need frog suit. Just been upgraded. What? That has got to be something. So, let me just ascend. You're gonna let me do it? Gotta be. Yep, found you. Ascend. I always forget that I have... I don't neither... So, I know that the original 2 seasons were not that. See. I know that that has been... That happened. Ascend with Gorb. But I thought that at least for the first 2 seasons that wasn't the case. What? Can't see. Oh, there's a shrine. I know. Yeah, I don't know. I've been told that they're adapting the book, not the video game. Where's this? Hebra Mountains, north. A labyrinth. How do you get in there? It's over here. Probably just do this. But that's why the Liam Hemsworth season's gonna suck, right? I don't know anything about it. I heard people really liked the first 2 years, but the 3rd year people didn't like as much. And then Henry Cavill has been fired from all of his stuff, so now he's just yeah, Yoshi P don't give a fuck. You know who else don't give a fuck? Tetsuya Nomura. You know who else don't give a fuck? Anybody that works at Square Enix. They do not give a shit what anybody has to say about anything they make. And yes, it you know, there is something to be respected about that, but also it's kind of like, fuck you though. I mean, I've been a Square fan my entire life. And they make some incredible games with incredible stories, but they are not known in the least bit for giving a shit what fans think or anything. And it served them well so far. Since Sky is quite far, you need an aircraft to get there. Drop down. Sky Island to get resources, build your crabs, dispenser. Travel towards the Sky Labyrinth. Will I? I feel like I'm gonna be okay. Uh-oh. Am I gonna fall right on top of this? I feel like I'm so close. But also, like, not. Yeah. I don't know much about Street Fighter. All I know is that I don't really care about, I heard a bunch of people having a piss fit about, oh shit. Like a shit fit about lore wiping in Mortal Kombat, and I just couldn't care less. Like, it's a fighting game, dude. Nobody cares about the lore. I mean, to be fair, we complained about Sonic, and it changed. I do hate the fact that they complained about the way Cammy looks. Like, that's dumb. Like, stop worrying about how women look in movies and TV. Activate the shrine. Will do. Drop a pin on the surface of the labyrinth. Pin a location on the right side near the middle of the surface. Okay. Wait, what? Mortal Kombat would be better as anything. I don't think it matters. Am I wrong? Like, I don't. Like, the lore of a fighting game just seems like who gives a shit? Pin a location on the right side in the middle of the surface labyrinth. Serve as your marker to reach the deepest part of the labyrinth and begin the side quest. Drop down to the North Lame Labyrinth. I'm not supposed to turn this on? Oh, it won't let me turn it on. Got it. You who set foot in the labyrinth of the sky. Go to the labyrinth of the land. Deep within its corridors, a dragon ring sleeps, awaiting the one who will wake it. What? Okay, so I need to drop from here, okay, to the one below it. This is a wild fucking quest, dude. Street Fighter has lore too. I was watching somebody play it. It looks, I mean, it's a fighting game. Like, you know, Injustice had a shitload of lore in it too, you know. I will say that when I was younger, I only cared about Mortal Kombat. The other ones were stupid. Using the mark location to drop to surface labyrinths, enter a U-shaped hole and hug. Okay, so I'm just supposed to fall into. What am I doing? U-shaped hole. What? There's a bunch of U-shaped holes. What the fuck are you talking about? It's over here. Ah, right there. Tekken was also really good, and then Soul Calibur. Oh, corner on the left. Did I do it right? Oh, that feels cheating. Research log, day 4. I've done it. At long last, I've done it. I found a relic of the Zonai civilization through my euphoria. That is weird. I found a relic of the Zonai civilization through though my euphoria is short-lived. In the hours since my discovery, I've tried touching, hitting, and yelling at the relic, but it remains unresponsive. I'm starting to fear that I may not unravel the secrets of the Zonai after all. The thought makes the cold even more bitter. Well, fine, I suppose. It's time to crawl out of this frigid pit and issue my report on my investigation. What? Can I fire you at ice, or do I need to fire? Can you break this? Okay. So we need flint and wood and this. I feel like there's some game I don't recall the name of it, is like my entire childhood. Like, I played a bunch of games, but I'll never remember all of them. Right. So you like a lot of new metal then? Find it on the west side of the labyrinth of the sky. I like how I just kind of cheated my way through this. Okay. Oh, did I love new metal? I still, every once in a while, will throw on... Like, I love Linkin Park. I will love the first, 3 Linkin Park albums for the rest of my life.